Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. That means it's story time. And today we're home on the range. Let me put my barbed wire down. I got a story for you today. It comes from the Southwest. And it's called Nate the Snake. Nate the Snake. But before I get to Nate the Snake, I want to read you some scripture. This is from Matthew chapter 20, and it's the first 16 verses. For the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of an estate who went out early one morning to hire workers for his vineyard. He agreed to pay the normal daily wage and sent them out to work. At 9 o'clock in the morning, he was passing through the marketplace and saw some workers standing around doing nothing. So he hired them too, telling them he would pay them whatever was right at the end of the day. At noon, and again around 3 o'clock, he did the same thing. At 5 o'clock that evening, he was in town again and saw some more people just standing around. He asked them, "Why haven't you been out working today?" Well, they replied, "Because no one would hire us." The owner of the estate told them, "Then go out and join the others in my vineyard." That evening he told the foreman to call the workers in and pay them, beginning with the last workers first. When those who were hired at 5 o'clock were paid, each received a full day's wage. When those hired earlier came to get their pay, they assumed that they would receive even more, but they too were given just a full day's wage. When they received their pay, they protested. "These people worked only 1 hour, and you've paid them just as much as you paid us, and we worked the whole day in the scorching heat and sun." He answered and said to each one of them, "Friend, I haven't been unfair to you, have I? Didn't you agree to work all day for this usual wage? Take it away from them and give it to those who came later. It is against the law for me to do what I want. Is it against the law for me to do what I want to do with my own money? Should you be angry because I am kind? And so it is that many who are first now will be last then, and those who are last now will be first then." Well, Jake the snake is an interesting story. A truck driver was heading west across Arizona when he was driving at nighttime, and he'd been driving all night, in fact, and the sun was starting to rise. He felt the urge to commune with nature for a few minutes, and so he pulled over to the side of the road, parks his truck, and walks into the sagebrush and cactus. As he is standing there, looking around at the beauty of the early morning, he notices a lever sticking out of the ground. After a few moments, he walks over. He walks all around the lever, looks at it, and is just about to grasp the lever when he hears a voice saying, "Don't touch that lever." The driver jumps up off the ground about 2 feet, and when he comes back down onto the ground, he looks around and no one is there. Well, thinking to himself, "I must have imagined this," he again reaches out for the lever. Again the voice yells, "I said, don't touch that lever." Well, being more prepared this time, the driver senses the location of the voice and looks down under some sagebrush. There he sees a snake. The driver is much astonished and says, "Was that you who just spoke?" You know, the Bible tells us of another snake who spoke back in the Garden of Eden. So he thought, well, maybe he's found another relative or something. Well, the snake said, "Yes, that was me. I have to keep people from touching that lever. You see, if the lever is moved, it will be the end of the world." Well, the driver, still rather astonished, said, "Well, what is your name?" And the snake said, "My name is Nate." The driver said, "Well, Nate, would you be willing to talk on TV?" Nate said that he wasn't interested in going on TV. And anyway, he had a very important job of watching the lever and making sure no one touched it or moved it. The driver said, "Look, I will get the networks to send out camera crews, and that way you can inform the whole world at one time about the danger of touching the lever." Nate thought it over and finally decided that made a lot of sense. So he decided to accept the man's offer. The driver, true to his word, got the network cameras to come out, and the crews got their cameras rolling, and they put the broadcast on the air in which Nate the snake warned the entire world of the dangers of moving the lever there in the desert. Well, a few weeks later, another truck driver was going through the same area. He was following an oil tanker, and the oil tanker had sprung a leak, and oil was all over the road. When the second driver hit the oil slick, he lost control of his vehicle, and he found himself spinning out of control. And he noticed that he was heading straight for the lever, because now people had put up signs about where the lever was. Well, with all of his strength and all of his might, he was able to avoid hitting the lever. He had remembered what the camera crews had said and what the news broadcast had said about the danger of moving that lever. It would cause the end of the world to come. So he was so grateful that he had maneuvered his truck and avoided hitting the lever. Finally, at the last moment when he had swerved, he missed the lever, but he ran over Nate the snake and killed him flat. As the truck driver was collecting himself, he was heard saying, "Well, better Nate than lever." All right, that's my story for today, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, just a reminder for all you young at heart and encouraging others, 55 and over, a week from tomorrow, we are having our next drive-by. It's cornbread and beans, and we want you to please RSVP. You can call me, 574-536-2110. You can call the church office, 812-591-3807, or you can send an email to the church office. So that information is on the screen, I hope. So anyway, hope you're all having a great week so far, and I will see you next week. See you, everybody. So long, partner.